Here we go. If the music sounds good and you feel alright, take a step to the left, one to the right, shout out and leave joy to sound.
Good morning and happy Friday. This is Jackie Sanders and you're listening to Money Matters with Jackie DeSarge Sanders. Happy Friday. I am so happy to be here. It's nice and sunny outside. And of course, I'm here to tell you all about your money matters and how to infiltrate your daily planning and strategize to make sure that we're prepared for retirement. We've been working and talking about leveraging real estate for our retirement planning, and of course we're going to continue. We're going to continue right along those same lines. Today we will continue to discuss emphasizing the benefits of becoming a real estate investor to enhance your retirement planning. And again, it is important. Let's not forget this. I know I say it every week, but I'm going to continue to say it because I want it to resonate with all of us. It's important to diversify when it comes to retirement planning. And so real estate should always be one of the options to achieve our goals. And so today we will discuss investment properties and rehabbing and the advantages and benefits to your profits. That's right, to your bottom line. And so we will continue to discuss the importance of making sure that we maintain protection, savings, and growth. We're going to get to the point where that's going to just be our theme, our motto. Is going to be so important for us to speak this on a regular basis until it becomes a part of who we are. So, what are we going to do? We're going to make sure that we protect, and protection happens through insurance, whether it's your vehicle, your home, your properties, your investments, your family. And then we're going to make sure that we save. And in order to save, that can be diversified into several type of investment vehicles. That can include our basic savings checking account. It can include 401k, 403b. It can include simplified IRAs, SEP IRAs, Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs, pension plans. It can include what we're talking about today, which is taking it to that next level so we can increase our profit margins and we can increase our bottom line. And in order to do so, we can purchase real estate and leverage our strategies. So retirement planning is important, and so that's what we're going to be talking about today so that we can achieve growth, protection, savings, growth. And as we implement the strategies for growth, we will then start to realize our end game, right? We'll start to realize our end game to make sure that we're well prepared for our retirement planning. So then when it's time for us to walk away from our employer or walk away from your business, you can live that life that you envision for yourself, whether it's traveling, making sure that you leave a great legacy for your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. All of this takes planning. It takes planning to put in place. And so we will continue the discussion. And I want you to join in the discussion. You've been listening to me for a while. I've been giving some great information. I want to hear from you. I want you to phone in to 630-215-8582. That's 630-215-8582. I want you to join into the discussion as we talk about, issues that will affect your financial situation, your financial goals that affect your daily lives and your future. And so I would like for you to go to your website and make sure you download the app. So you can go to our website and go to WGSGBCradio.com. I'm going to repeat it. It's WGSGBC iHeartRadio.com. And then I want you to go on Facebook and I want you to like us because we're Smooth 90.5 FM HD. And I want you to tell all of your friends and I want you to tell your family so that they can tune in because we're live here on iHeartRadio. And you can also tune in to us on Sirius XM Channel 66. And guess what? We're also on DirecTV. Hey! So you can go to DirecTV Channel 851 and you can get our information as well. And so if you want to download it on your phone, you can go to the Google Play Store or you can go to the Apple Store and you can download our app for Smooth 90.5 FM HD. We are a iHeart radio station, and so we want you to get involved. I want you to feel as if you're getting all this information on a weekly basis that can truly make a difference in your life. I've been hearing from people. I went to an event last Saturday. It was a women's event at my church, and so at the table that I was sitting on, there were two ladies that I kind of connected with. One lady was affiliated with the Urban League and started to talk about what she does in the community and how she'd like me to get involved with giving some presentations to her organizations on money matters and financial education and financial literacy. And then there's another lady that was to the left of me, and then once I was sharing the information about the show to her, she's like, wait a minute, I listened to that. Oh, I love your show. I really enjoy it. So that was nice to hear. That was a nice boost that made me feel really good that you're out there just getting this information, that you're enjoying it, and most of all, I want to make sure that you're implementing it into your daily lives. I have one more announcement that I want to make. The village of Maywood is having a family fest, and so we would like for you to come out and join us. We will be there joining in to the festivities, and so it will be today from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., as well as tomorrow on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m., and then again on Sunday from noon to 5 p.m., and it will be at Veterans Park in Maywood. And so if you want more information, you can call the mayor's office at 708-450-4492. Again, that's 708-450-4492, and that's the Village of Maywood Family Fest. So come on out and have some fun and enjoy all the festivities. We look forward to seeing you there. Now, let's get back to our segment on using real estate to leverage your retirement planning. And so we have been talking about retirement planning for the past several weeks. We have discussed 401ks, 403bs, traditional pension plans, traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, SEP IRAs, simple IRAs on last week, and self-directed IRAs for business owners. And so during the last few weeks, we've discussed real estate and the process of becoming a homeowner or an investor and using it as leverage to build your wealth and diversify your holdings. So we continue that today. Today we're going to expand a bit and we're going to talk about rehabbing property. Now, what should we look for when we're purchasing investment property? How should we calculate the after repair value of the property if you're rehabbing? How should you choose a contractor? And how important is it? And what is needed to present the right offer? Those are questions that we're going to discuss today, and we're going to give you some answers to those questions. Now, when you're looking for investment property, there is a process that we should all follow. Firstly, we should work with a good realtor. I cannot stress how important it is to get a good realtor. You know, I have my specific pick of realtors that I've worked with for years, that I trust, that I know are going to give me some good listings that are going to be on top of it when I'm ready to make an offer on a piece of property. And I just know that they are quality realtors. And so, I admonish you to make sure that you do your homework and that you get referrals and that you get a good realtor when you're going on this journey, because it is so important. That's a very important step. And so once you get a good realtor, the next thing you have to do is make sure that your financing is intact. So you have to have strategy for your financing. We've talked a little bit about the different options for financing, and we'll continue with that a little bit more in the next couple of weeks and go through some creative financing strategies where you can look for private investors that may want to invest. There's also ways that you can sell contract agreements. There are hard money lenders, so we'll go through the process of that as well. And then, of course, there are traditional funding where you can go through a bank or a mortgage company. And, of course, if you're a VA, a vet, you have the VA bill that you're able to go ahead and purchase property. So that's a completely different scenario, and you want to take advantage of that benefit that you get from the government. If you're a VA vet, I want you to call in 630-215-8582 if you've got specific questions about what you need to do in acquiring your property and stabilizing your financing. And so once you have all of your financing in place, you want to make sure that you're able to show proof of funds to your realtor. If you're going to make a cash purchase, or if you're using one of those other creative financing options that I just mentioned, you want to make sure that you can show proof of funds and or a pre-approval letter if you're going to some type of lending or lender financing. And then once you have your financing intact and you have your proof of funds or your pre-approval letter, then you're ready to go shopping. And so you've got your realtor, you've got your financing strategy in place, and so as I just mentioned, we're going to go over that a little bit more because there's several choices for financing depending on whether you're planning on rehabbing the property or just acquiring it as is. So there are several options there, but regardless of which option you're going with, you still need to follow the process of again, getting the realtor, making sure you have your financing in place, and then it's time to explore the various choices of financing, and we'll do that in the next couple of shows. But today we will primarily focus on acquiring and rehabbing investment properties. So there are 7 things to keep in mind when purchasing investment properties. Number 1, you want to check on the taxes. Are the taxes paid? Are there taxes out there that are lingering? Because if so, you will need to calculate that into the cost of your deal. And there are also tax sales. Tax sales are properties that may be free and clear, may not have any financing, or may have small amounts that are owed on it. But unfortunately, for some reason or another, the property owner has not paid the property taxes, and then that property then becomes vulnerable and can be purchased for as a tax sale. And you can acquire that property that could be worth 3, 4, 5, 6 times the value of what you're acquiring it for. And of course, that would definitely hit your bottom line in your profit margin. And so tax sales is another option that's out there. So you want to check to make sure that the taxes are paid and see what the status is. Secondly, you want to check on the zoning to see if there are any zoning issues. You don't want to be in the middle of your deal. You've gotten your appraisal, you're in underwriting, you're looking forward to close your deal, and then you find out that you have a zoning problem. And so you want to check into the zoning issues, and that can easily be checked with tax maps. You want to see if it's zoned as a commercial property or if it's zoned as a residential, because it makes a big difference. I in the past, I have reviewed appraisals and got to a glitch in the financing where there's a property that's being sold as a residential property but is zoned as a commercial property. That is a problem. And it's a problem for underwriting. And so you have to jump through so many hoops and try and work with the village and try and see if you can change the zoning, to try and see if there's anything that can be grandfathered into your that property you're trying to purchase. So you don't want to wait until you've put down earnest money, you've put down your down payment, you've gone through all of this appraisal, spent money on appraisals, and you're in the 11th hour, and then you're finding out that there are zoning issues. So trust me, you want to make sure that you avoid that issue initially, so that it doesn't become a problem down the road. Then thirdly, you want to know who the actual owners are, who owns the property that you're trying to purchase. Is it an individual? Is it a for sale by owner? Is it a bank foreclosure? Or is it another investor? So you definitely want to make sure that you know who the owner is, and that you even find out what the chain of title has been in the past. So in addition to that, you want to look at the tax valuation and make that assessment, because that's something that you want to include when you are analyzing the deal that you're trying to purchase. And so you want to also look for sales information to help you determine if there is make sure there's equity in that property. So if there's equity in that property, obviously it affects your profit margin. So you don't want to waste time on a property if you aren't going to realize adequate profit, right? So you want to make sure the taxes are paid. You want to check the zoning. You want to make sure that you know who the actual owners are, who is selling the property. You want to look for the tax valuation. You want to look for the sales information to help you determine if there's equity in that property or not. And you want to check the year that the property was built, and that will help you better understand repairs. So these are all key things that is so important for you to make sure you put in place when you're getting ready to purchase investment property or a rehab property. So I'm just going to go over those 7 things again. 1, you want to make sure the taxes are paid. 2, you want to check the zoning. 3, you want to check the owners of the property. 4, you want to look for the tax valuation. 5, you want to look at the sales information to determine and make sure that the equity is in the property. And 6, you want to check the year that the property was built so that you can better analyze the repairs and make sure that they're actually accurate. And last but not least, you want to check the chain of ownership. It is important to check the chain of ownership to find out the history of the property, when it was last sold, who bought it, who owned it initially. That's called the chain of title. So you want to make sure you get that information so that you know the history of that property. And one of the tools you can use for that is checking with the tax assessor's office. And you can go to the tax assessor's website to get this information. And that's www.cookcountyassessor.com. Let me just repeat that again. That's www.cookcountyassessor.com. Or you can go to www.cookcountyclerk.com. And those are tools you can use. I got a phone call from a previous client of mine earlier this week, and I'd helped her in the past with some refinancing a piece of investment property that was left to her by a parent. And so she thought that she had gotten rid of the property, that she no longer owned it, and then she was getting mail all of a sudden that information is still out there that she still owns this property. So she called me and she said, Jackie, I really thought that this property was history, that I'd gotten rid of it and that it was no longer, in my name or anything. And so now I need to find out what's going on, and I need to find out, if my name is still showing on title of this property, and if it's something I need to, I just need to find out what the situation is. So I told her, I said, well, the first thing you need to do is you need to check the tax assessor's office so you can find out what is showing on the title. And then once you find out that information, give me a call back and we can find out what the next steps will be. And so she gave me a call this morning, as a matter of fact, when I was on my way here to the station. And we were trying to coordinate a time that we can meet some point today or over the weekend, so I can go over information with her and kind of direct her for the next steps. So, again, it's important. That's a prime example of why it's important to check the title and the chain of title, and to make sure that the property that you're acquiring is exactly what you think it is, it's in good standing, and so forth. So, property information such as the square footage, the foundation type, number of bedrooms, the bathrooms, the garage, number of garage cars, 2-car, 3-car, 1.5 car, what have you, fireplaces, number of fireplaces, etc. should match up with the listing. So when you're working with your realtor, if you're working directly with the seller or some other form or source or some other resource, you want to confirm the property details. You want to also take pictures during your initial walkthrough. Why? Because you want to go back and make sure that you can see all of these variables when you're reviewing the listings, to make sure that everything is in place and it is matching the listing. So you want to confirm the property details, take pictures, and that also helps you in your analysis of determining the amount of rehab you may need to do, the amount of profit margin that you may gain, what you will need to secure as far as the financing for purchasing and rehabbing that property. And so the next step is to find some comparables for that property. And that's important because you need to evaluate what the estimated value is currently for that property, to make sure that you're not paying too much for that property. You're not making an offer that's way too much. And if it is an offer or a listing that's way below market value, that could be a great plus for you, because if you're getting it below market, that means that after you completely rehab it, you'll be able to sell it well above market. And so that affects your profit margin and your bottom line. And so the comparables are extremely important for that reason. And so for comparables, you can find out the various comparables, or comps. We often call them comps, through MLS. And so the MLS system is the system which is used by realtors, which is another good reason why you need to have a good relationship with a good realtor, so that you can work with that realtor to acquire the property, and that you're not missing out on good deals. And so there's also the websites like Zillow, that's Zillow, that can be very helpful. This site can provide supporting data that you need when you're doing your analysis. And so it can give you off-market comps. It can give you listings, current listings. Sometimes it can even give you FSBOs. FSBOs are for sale by owner. Those are properties that are for sale by owner. And so this information will come in pretty handy when it comes to time for you to get your appraisal. So you want to make sure you do your homework first. And as you do it more and more, you will find that it will come a lot more easily to you when it comes time to go out and look at properties. You'll know exactly what you're looking for. You'll know what to look for when you're rehabbing. You want to know about the roof. How old is the roof? How are the windows? Is the basement finished? Am I going to have to do flooring? Am I going to have to redo the bathroom? Am I going to have to redo the kitchen? Am I going to have to do cabinets and so forth? So all of this is important in assessing the value of the property and analyzing the data to make sure that if this is a good property for you to purchase, so that you can increase your profit margin, your bottom line, and thus increasing and leveraging real estate for your retirement, because that's the purpose of it. That's what we're talking about here. It goes all back to what we're doing to make sure that we can leverage the profits that we attain from that purchase or that rehab to ultimately help us in our retirement planning. Now, if you remember, last week we talked a little bit about simple IRAs and using that to finance. And so I just want to remind everybody that I'm live right now on TV. So click on my Facebook page or Smooth 90.5 FM HD, and you can see me live. I'm live right now as we speak. So I just wanted to just take a quick little break and just remind everybody. And as today we're talking about real estate, rehabbing, acquiring property as an investor, and making sure that we have everything in place correctly. All of our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed, and making sure that we do our homework when we're looking to acquire property. And so one of the first things that I mentioned initially is that you need a very good realtor that you can work with. If you need a referral, give me a call. I've got several that I have used for years that I know are real good, because you want to make sure that you have a good realtor. So you can give me a call if you want to join into the conversation at 630-215-8582. Again, that's 630-215-8582. The lines are open. And so you want to make sure you've got a good realtor that's going to help you in getting some good properties. And let them know that you're buying investment properties and that's what you're looking for. There are some realtors that specialize in REOs, which are bank-owned properties or investment properties. So you want to make sure that you get the right realtor that will be able to help you to attain your goals. And so the next thing you need to do is determine the after-repair value, or the ARV, for the property that you're trying to purchase. And so after you've done all of the steps for the process that I've just stated, the next thing that you need to do is to do the calculation for the after repair value. And so I'm going to give you that formula. If you've got a pen and paper, you want to write it down. The ARV, the after repair value, times 70% minus the repair estimate, is equal to the MAO. I'm going to repeat that. The ARV, after repair value, times 70% minus the repair estimate, is equal to the MAO, which is the maximum allowable offer. Again, that's the maximum allowable offer. So make sure you do that. Do your math and do your calculations as you are looking at properties, to make sure that it's a good property margin and that it will give you a good bottom line. And that's so important when you're looking to purchase property. And so we're going to take a quick break, real quick, and we'll be back so that I can give you some more tips as you go shopping to buy your investment properties. You want to make sure that you're confident, well informed, and that you are totally ready to go out and find that piece of property that's going to affect your property margin. And so I just want to remind you that you're listening to Money Matters with Jackie Dussard Sanders here on 90.5 Smooth 90.5 FM HD. And we'll be right back.
Unleash your wildest adventures with remote control Airhogs Thunder Tracks. Not even gravel will slow Thunder Tracks down. You can unleash adventures, take on all terrains, and even drive on water with Airhogs Thunder Tracks.
We owe great times to good friends. To the glasses that spark conversation. To the ideas that then pour out. Our tequila is your tequila. Casa Amigo Tequila.
To announce Taco Bell's new XXL Steak Crispy Taco, we've made the ultimate radio commercial. It's got twice the explosions and also a helicopter. It even has a pop star so new and dope that you've never even heard of him. The new XXL Steak Crispy Taco. It's the ultimate taco. Taco Bell. Live Más.
New coolers from Caribou Coffee. Grab life. By the Antlers. You know that feeling you get when you're driving a pickup? No, not that feeling. The one where you're towing a trailer up a 6% grade, and it's hot enough to fry an egg on your hood. It's not that you're worried, but there's a voice asking questions in the back of your head. You know what? Forget that voice. You're driving a Nissan Titan XD.
All right, we're back. Tune in. I'm live here on Smooth 90.5 FM, and you're listening to Money Matters with Jackie Dussard Sanders. So I'm telling you, we're talking about some good stuff today. And actually, we're talking about good stuff every week. So you don't want to miss out. You don't want to miss out. In fact, you want to call all your friends. You want to call all your family and let them know that they need to turn to Smooth 90.5 FM HD and listen to Money Matters with Jackie Dussard Sanders. And we have so many ways that you can tune in. You can tune in on Facebook. You can go to our website at WGSB C Radio, that's WGSBCradio.com. You can go to us live on Facebook. You can download the app on your phone by going to the App Store or the Apple Store. And you can also tune in live on iHeartRadio. You can tune to Channel 66 on Sirius XM. You can go to DirecTV Channel 851. There's just so many ways, so you have no excuse. You can also email us at gsjbcradio@gmail. You can Twitter us. There's so many ways for you to get this information, so you don't want to miss out. Absolutely, you do not want to miss out. And I want to give you the information. I want you to get this information, and I want you to implement it in your daily lives so that you can leverage and diversify your retirement planning so that when it's time to retire, you can enjoy it. How about that, right? So the next thing we're going to talk about is how we should choose the right contractor. We talked about how important it is to choose the right realtor. And of course, that's extremely important. That's the first step when you're looking to purchase investment property. But if you're going to be doing rehab work, which in many cases you will as a real estate investor, you will need to him make, or he or she, you want to make sure that you keep them happy and that that they fit into the criteria that you need in order to maintain good viability in the renovations that they're doing for you. And so And so, the use of subcontractors, that's the next thing. This needs to be disclosed to you up front. If he's using subcontractors, that may be perfectly okay, but that information needs to be disclosed to you openly. This does not need to be something that's sprung on you at the last minute. You need to know every aspect of what you're doing. Remember last week we talked about simplified IRAs and how it's important to be in the driver's seat and having all of the information so you can make well-informed decisions when it comes to your project and the money that you're investing in that project, right? And so the next thing is financial stability. You want to make sure that that contractor has no previous bankruptcies in his history. You know, there are times when bankruptcy is necessary, but in this case, you want to make sure that your contractor that you're choosing have no previous bankruptcies in his history, because you do not want to find yourself in the middle of your project abandoned. It's important. I actually have known of some people who have come across that with contractors that financially stable. Referrals. That's the next thing. You want to ask for referrals. That's you. If he's a good contractor and he's done good work, then that contractor should be more than willing to let you see his work. Am I right? Yes, I'm right. He should be more than happy to let you see pictures of work that he's completed so that you don't fall into the your friends that they need to come and tune in to the show every week. We're here from 11 to 12 every Friday on Smooth 90.5 FM HD. And we're giving such important information. You don't want to miss this. You want to share this with your friends. they the pitfalls to avoid in choosing a bad contractor. We've talked about a good contractor. What do you need to do to make sure that you don't pick a bad contractor? Number one, are they desperate? Constantly calling you for work? That's not a good sign. Are they unprofessional, unorganized? Their job site is property, creative financing, private financing, bank financing, hard money financing, rehab lending. We will also discuss long-term marketing strategies, assignment of contracts, wholesaling, insurance, and leveraging active and passive income and avoiding foreclosures. So be sure to tune in to our show on next Friday. We'll be here 11 to 12.
Smooth Jazz Radio with Rob G on Live 365 and iHeartRadio Smooth 90.5 708-233-0030.